Hey guys, I'm Tots and welcome back to my vlog. Such a beautiful Saturday here in Rochester. I went on a run around Cascade Lake this morning, which is right behind our house. I encountered a little girl in her stroller who shouted at me, "You're half naked!" To which I replied, "You betcha, I'd be full naked if it weren't for you." No, I'm kidding, guys, I don't yell at little kids. Besides the third-year student who I ran into, I'd say he was 3/4 naked with the short shorts. Anyways, now I'm at the library for an 8-hour shift, and not the usual plumber library, but this time at the Mitchell Student Library. I'm covering some of my friends' shifts. In fact, I'm covering 8 hours each for the next 3 days. So for me, it's a great thing. I love the library. But unlike my friends who are official staff here, I don't get a name tag like they do. So I'm improvising. It's really a nice gig. Within arm's reach, I have access to a free charging station, a prostate gland model so I can become a master of the prostate gland exam, and a personal pull-up bar, which I have used a lot. I'll probably be doing at least 100 pull-ups today on that thing. And whenever I'm at the library for a long time, I usually bring food, so I'm ready to hunker down. Today I brought 2 cans of Campbell's chicken noodle soup and dinner from last night, hoisin beef and cabbage. My friend gave me these coupons for this meal kit delivery thing. They use kikoman soy sauce, so I do approve. And this past week we completed our 6-week cardiology block. More sad than happy, just because it was such a well-taught class. I thought all our professors were the smartest, kindest, most humble people I know. And besides the perfectly coordinated lectures and small groups and simulation activities, they shared with us a lot about their personal lives, their reasons for choosing cardiology, their kids, their family, and honestly, it was very moving. At the very end of our last lecture, we had a brief farewell moment for 2 of our faculty who were stepping down after decades of service. Just to be able to be in company of such people is a big reason why I'm here at Mayo. So, the exam was great. I got an 80. What more could I ask for? An 81. As I've mentioned before, around an 80 has been my goal for most of my exam here at med school. And the reason, well, one is I'm kind of lazy, and 2, I don't fail at an 80. But there's also this principle called the Pareto principle that you may have heard of. 80% of the outcome comes from 20% of the input. So whatever block I'm in, I try to find the highest leverage opportunity to learn and then ignore the rest. So for some blocks that might mean not going to lecture at all and just binge reading the textbook. Others might mean not going to lecture at all and just watching sketchy videos, which are like memorization videos. Or for others, like cardiology, might mean attending all lectures and not using any outside resources. So that's kind of what I did for this block. I showed up to most of the lectures, and I stayed awake for almost all of them, and there were moments where I did fall asleep. Not because the lecture was boring, because I was just tired. And for each lecture, the professors provided us with notes that were already taken for the lecture, so I would try and read those as well. Didn't quite get to all of them, but I did read through most of them. And I also showed up for all the simulation activities and really tried to learn on the spot as much as possible so I wouldn't have to study outside that time. In one of the sessions, I ended up killing Harvey. I completely misdiagnosed his aortic dissection, which is my handy dandy heart here, when the aorta rips inside and blood starts pooling into the cover. With a myocardial infarction, which is when you have a clot that blocks one of these coronary arteries. So as I injected the clot-busting TPA, Harvey was announced dead. He bled to death. And I'll remember this lesson for the rest of my life, regardless of whether I go into cardiology or not. Everything we learn right now could mean life or death for real patients in the future. Now I can say that I have killed a mannequin. Ha, ha. And I also discovered that Harvey and I went to the same university. We also met a new mannequin doll that moves, and that freaked me out at first, but very cool. If you're lucky, he will speak to you as well. And you just cram before the exam and good to go. Usually 2 nights before an exam, you can find me pulling an all-nighter here, usually at Mitchell, just touching material that I haven't touched yet. And in this case, it was looking through the PowerPoints from day 1, and I got through the 4th week and couldn't quite get to the 5th or 6th week, but that's what happens when I don't plan and schedule an afternoon of shadowing that same day in behavioral neurology, which was really, really cool. So it all works out in the end. Now, what would I have done differently if I was aiming for 90 instead of an 80? I probably would have watched through the sketchy pharmacology videos on Cardiology, so that's a tool that's already pre-made. It's like a video image association memorization tool that's probably the closest thing to just passively downloading information into your brain. But I only got through 2 of the 13 videos, so I probably would have watched through all of them if I was trying to go for higher scores. Another thing, I probably would have read through the PowerPoint notes, the class notes before class instead of afterwards or during my cram time. What if I was trying to go for 100 instead of a 90 or an 80? I probably would use Anki, which is the memorization deck application that's free and available with pre-made cards, and there are already decks set for every block, and I probably would have tried to go through all the cards and memorized every little fact. And if you're trying to get an 110, I would love to sit down with you and chat, because you must be an interesting person, but also may recommend question banks on programs like Amboss or UWorld. And again, I am probably the worst person ever to ask for study tips, because my goal is an 80 and I do just that. So if I were to give you one study advice, that would be to remind yourself, why am I here? Because I get paid $15 an hour? No, like bigger picture. Like, why career in medicine or whatever it is that you do? Because I think once we remind ourselves of why we're here, then quizzes or tests or exams, they start appearing like something helpful and useful. Like, one way I see it is, like, I run my miles better on a treadmill than outside. It's probably because the treadmill, I just press the button and then it keeps me on pace. I'm not going to accidentally sprint or accidentally get tired and slow down, because I can't on a treadmill. So having these exams and tests come on, I feel like I'm learning medicine at a better pace and more steady than I would if I were to learn on my own without any feedback. I feel mostly gratitude for exams, at least the good ones, and all of them here are good. And that's all I got for this one. Probably mostly useless information, so thanks for watching. But next week's vlog is gonna be probably a little more interesting. As I've alluded in a previous vlog, I'm moving out of my house next weekend. So before I move out for good, I thought I'd give you a tour of my bedroom and show you everything. As you know about me, I am very open without any filters. Just like a 2-year-old girl shouting, "You're half naked." So, till then, take care and see you guys. Bye.